Hello, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Hope everyone's doing well. Much love to everyone. I want to call out on Mr. Fauci or the whoever, this World Health Organization that is specialized agency of the United Nations responsible for international public health. The WHO Constitution, which establishes the agency's governance structure and principles, states an objective and attainment by all peoples in the highest possible level of health. The WHO Constitution. Yeah, they do have a constitution. WHO Constitution. I'll be leaving the links in the description below. Constitution of the World Health Organization. What about the American Constitution? I don't know. Anyway, I have a few questions for you guys. Whoever Cinemix, you're all about health and everything, but what's this? You got Cinemix human fetal cells in our food. Is this true? Can you clarify all this for us? Cinemix develops patented flavor enhancers by using proprietary taste receptor-based assay systems. The receptors are made from HEK 293. HEK stands for human embryonic kidney cells. Baby fetuses, in other words, right, Fauci? Or the whoever you are, with 293 denoting that the HEK was from the 293rd experiment. HEK 293 originally came from a healthy, electively aborted baby whose cells were then harvested and cloned. What's your input on that? Cinemix is the American biotechnology company working toward developing additives to amplify certain flavors and smells in foods. The company claims to have essentially reverse engineered the receptors in humans that react to taste and aroma, and that they are capitalizing on these discoveries to produce chemicals that will make food taste better. That sounds healthy. Food companies test flavorings that can mimic sugar, salt, or MSG. Several big food and beverage companies are looking at a new ingredient in the battle for health-conscious consumers, a chemical that tricks the taste buds into sensing sugar or salt even when it is not there. Kraft Foods, Nestle, Coca-Cola, and Campbell Soup are all working in biotechnology company called Cenomix, which has developed several chemicals in which blah, blah, blah. Anyway, let's move on. What's this? We have Harvard here. The importance of potassium. This is another question I have for you. Potassium is necessary for the normal function of the cells. It regulates the heartbeat, ensures proper function of the muscles and nerves, and is vital for synthesizing protein and metabolizing carbohydrates. Okay, so if potassium's really that good for us, like the most important electrolyte for our body, from what I understand, why are we given potassium chloride? Potassium chloride. Let's see, here it's used in a few states. Let's see. In a few states, in a few states of the United States, it is used to cause cardiac arrest as a third in the 3-drug cocktail for execution by lethal injection. It occurs naturally in a mineral sylvite in combination with sodium chloride as sylvanite. So, I mean, it's used for lethal injection. I don't know. Could you clarify what this is all about? I mean, it's used for lethal injection. It says right here, it causes cardiac arrest and rapid death. I just don't understand how this could be prescribed to people. What's wrong with the natural potassium. Right here in Harvard is saying how healthy potassium is in these foods if you eat potassium-rich foods versus taking this synthetic form. I'm just asking questions. I don't know. I'm just a average person. But then we find this potassium chlorides in baby formulas, cereals, frozen entries, meats, snacks, foods such as chips and crisps, sports drinks, electrolyte drinks, soups, sauces, and I'm not going to click on more, but it's in all kinds of our processed food, just everywhere. Then we got calcium carbonate. Calcium carbonate. Yeah, it's a common substance found in rocks as minerals, calcite and aragonite, limestone. And it's used in industrial applications, cement. Now there's calcium in foods, right? That food needs to be digested. I mean, these rocks and stuff need to be digested through the plant. Then it's healthy for us. Then our bodies know what to do with it. But from what I understand, this calcium carbonate is just raw material from the ground, and our body's supposed to. Well, our body doesn't know what to do with it. Can you clarify that too? Just looking for some answers here. I got a video for you too. Check this out, and would like some answers. Let's check it out, Mr. Fauci. Let me start this thing over.
Reveal hospitals have been counting patients who died from serious pre-existing conditions as COVID-19 deaths. One America's Pearson Sharp has more as the CDC counts over 51,000 patients who died from heart attacks as
Hmm.
opposed to coronavirus.
The Centers for Disease Control have updated their death counts for coronavirus and reveal yet again that COVID 19 is rarely the actual cause of death among coronavirus patients. According to the CDC themselves, of the 220,000 deaths attributed to the coronavirus, 87,000 of them died from pneumonia and influenza. Another
Is this true?
17,000 from chronic respiratory diseases, and 26,000 died from respiratory distress syndrome. 44,000 patients died from hypertensive diseases, 23,000 died from heart disease, and a whopping 28,000 died from cardiac arrest and heart failure. Yet all of these, even patients who died from heart attacks, were marked down as dying from the coronavirus. Doctors who spoke with One America News explained that 131,000 patients who are being considered COVID-19 deaths already had life-ending diseases, including cancer, dementia, and even end-stage renal failure. And
That's
according to the
surprising.
CDC, again, if you look at place of death, you'll see that some 10,000 patients who died from COVID were on hospice care, meaning they were terminally ill to begin with and were already expected to die. Doctors tell One America News that all of these patients were critically ill and likely died from their pre-existing conditions without any help from the coronavirus. However, they explain that the CARES Act, passed by Congress in March, gives hospitals a 20% bonus on their diagnosis-related group paid for by Medicare. Essentially, that
Did you just hear that? 20% bonus paid to Medicare if their diagnosis COVID deaths on taxpayer money. We're paying for this?
That
What?
means doctors are being paid to list deaths as coronavirus without any indication the patient's death was actually COVID related. The 1918 Spanish flu is often used as an example of a comparable pandemic, and perhaps it's more comparable than most people realize, according to the
Mm.
National Institutes of Health and even Dr. Anthony Fauci himself, in a 2008 paper, explained that the majority of deaths during the 1918 and 1919 pandemic were not caused by the influenza alone. Instead, Dr. Fauci says that the vast majority of deaths were caused by bacterial pneumonia. Exactly what the CDC shows we're witnessing again today. The CDC backs these numbers up, explaining that coronavirus itself is responsible for just 6% of all deaths listed as coronavirus related. The other 94% of deaths are due to pre existing comorbidities, including serious illnesses and advanced age. However, despite this report being officially published by the CDC, so far the mainstream media have completely ignored it, instead,
Hmm.
continuing to hype a pandemic that seems less dangerous every day. Pearson Sharp, One America News. Want to see?
So, I'd like to hear your reply to that. Whoever, Fauci, any input on that? I know I got mine. And this is for all my subscribers and everyone who's awake. You know, we gotta stay vigilant and on top of this and get some answers from these people because, you know,
They understand, that not only humanity's probably a little sick of them. This is how they deal with that. Every 100 years, they start a war up over some complete and total bullshit and let everybody kill each other. And if you look at the time and place every 100 years, you look at where we're at now in 2020, you look back in 1919, you look back in 1812 to 1815, you look back in 1717, you look back in the 1618, you look back in 1515, you look back in 1418, you look back in 1317. Every time you look at this shit, it's almost like the bond scam where they have a formula, a timeline, a chronos formula, a blueprint, an outline where they follow it, and put this kind of mass carnage on the multitudes. So, yeah, I know these guys are behind it. It's not like I think they're behind it. It's not like I'm guessing this is a possibility. I'm saying this is an absolute, I'll say likelihood is giving them the benefit of the doubt. This is probably a certainty. So follow the power, follow the wealth, follow the money, follow the bloodlines, follow the families, follow their policies, follow this Kabbalistic formula, and you'll see it everywhere in history. No bullshit. And if you don't, it's because these guys are obfuscated it, and you just haven't looked far or deep enough. And it's there. It just most of the educational institutions are doing the same thing. These medical communities and these financial institutions are doing. They are not only deceiving people, they are betraying them. And I can't understand how much blind faith people are going to keep putting into these offerings and expecting a different result. You know, it's crazy. I know fear does some pretty fucked up things to your decision making, but this type of duress is also well known, and it's why in tort law that any decisions that are forced onto people under duress are null and void in legal standing. And I'm thinking that this debt that we've accumulated under the war of terror should be something like that. I'm thinking that anything else in terms of taxes should be something like that. We're not paying for schools anymore. They're not fixing the roads anymore. They're not doing shit all with our taxes. Why the fuck should we not be represented in a constitutional manner at all and have these guys literally erode every aspect of the Constitution while shaking us down for optimum profit and receive